Welcome into a live edition of the KC Laboratory presented by Emprise Bank, member FDIC, our amazing, wonderful day one partners in Possible here at KC Sports Network. And we are so appreciative of them and all they've done being a partner of KC Sports Network. I am thrilled to be with a couple pals today. I wish it was under better circumstances. But I am very excited because today, Monday, November 17th, is a Matter Day. Matt Swanson, Matt Hamilton, Maddie Lane. Maddie Lane. Hello, how are we?
We've been better, Kent. It's not it's been very spoiled as Chiefs fans. We have had seen a lot of success in recent years. Things have gone very well, and even when they have gone bad, things have gone very well. This year, it kind of doesn't feel the same, but when I look at the team on paper, when I watch them play, sometimes it looks like they should be better, and my brain is not computing how this team is 5-5 with the roster that they have. And so right now I'm spiraling both up and down at this point in time, Kent. So I need Hamilton to come in here and settle it down and tell me why I should be excited for the Chiefs the rest of this year. And I shouldn't just walk off into traffic.
I mean, listen, I think there are a lot of things going on here, and it's hard to be Pollyanna about this team after that game, but there is part of it. I feel like it's like welcome to the 99% of, it's kind of back to how every other team and fan base feels on a week to week basis. And I know there are a lot of people jumping off the bandwagon right now. A lot of people just don't think that this team has it. And there are reasons to be concerned, which I know we'll dig into, but as you said, like you look at this team, they shouldn't be 5-5. You look at a lot of the underlying numbers are better than last year. For some reason, they're not performing in these close games and making the plays they need to make at the end of these games, which is a concern. And again, something we'll also dig into as this show goes on. But usually in a one possession game, I look at you can look at it like, hey, if these like 3 to 5 plays went differently, this game could have been very different. I feel like there were like 20 of those moments in this game yesterday. And that's what makes it so damn frustrating. But it's also what makes me not want to give up hope for this team. And, I know I don't have the same emotions in it because I'm not a lifelong Chiefs fan like you guys and like most of the people watching this show. But just even from an outside perspective, like I don't think this team is that far off. There is a flatness that concerned me at points in this game, and that's more concerning than anything else, than the talent and the X's and O's than any of it. And that might be hard to fix. That's the biggest concern that I have, because I think the rest of it all is very fixable. If you don't have that juice, though, it's hard. But again, I think this team is really close still, and all you got to do is get in. We know that in the NFL, it doesn't need to be just get into the dance, and this team is still very capable of going on a run, in my opinion.
Flat is the right word. Flat is the right word. Flat is how I feel today. Like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think. I mean, this team has failed every test this year. Every close game test they have failed. If you count the Boye Mafe no trade, they're 0-6 when it's close. And I just like they haven't found a way to take care of business when it matters all season. And it's disheartening, and this team just feels stuck in second gear, is what I said last night. Has it been their day, their week, their month, or even their year? But it's just that's what it feels like though. Like it just feels like they're stuck. It just feels like there's this expectation, belief. This quote from Andy Reid even today. We're not quite as negative as the outside world is. We know what we need to clean up and we need to do it. The guys, they get it. Some of these guys have been through some pretty good seasons. It's not like this one is lost. Okay, but here's the thing. You guys know what you need to do, and you haven't done it for 5 weeks this season, for half the season.
Yeah.
Done it. You're running out of time. There is no time. You have lost 4 games to the AFC playoff field right now. You are 0-4 against the AFC playoff field. And it's just stuck. The tires are spinning. It's flat. The energy is gone. The Chiefs have defeated the Super Bowl hangover for the entirety of the Patrick Mahomes era. And it feels like the Super Bowl hangover has finally come to Kansas City and just wreaked havoc. And that's what it feels like this year. And that's what it felt like last night.
So I wanted to touch on something you guys both kind of said before we get entirely into Hammy's like deeper thoughts in this game. You guys kept saying flat, and like I kind of agree. I think there is some flatness. I think the Chiefs seem very passive, both offensively, but even defensively a little bit now. And like, we can look at the specifics of rushing 3 with a spy on 3rd and 15, just hoping not to give up, 15 yards, still giving up 15 yards because, it wasn't good. But like the defense even played a little passive, it felt like, but offensively, especially against good defenses lately, it feels like Andy's very passive. He goes into the game and like, to start the game, they might try to throw some deep shots and see if something connects, and they missed them this game. But after that, it's very much like, okay, what are you going to give us? What are you going to let us have? And we're going to try to win the game by taking what you let us have. And that's different than taking what's there. I think if you're running an offense that's forcing a defense to take something away, and then you just take what's still available, but you force their hand, I think that's different than saying, oh, okay, you guys are giving us the flat over and over again. We're going to keep throwing the ball to the flat for 3 yards at a time. Oh, you're giving us Kelsey on an RPO for 7 yards over the ball. That's fine. We don't think you can do that all game. I think the Chiefs have done a very bad job on both sides of the ball, but especially offensively this year, of dictating the flow of the game. They aren't making good defenses not even change what they do, but defend anything specifically. They just let the defense go out there and do whatever they want, and then they try to react to it. And that lowers their margin so much. And players aren't executing well enough to win that way. But I just don't know why Andy Reid has become one of the more passive coaches from a game planning perspective this year. And it's driving me insane. And it feels like that's leaking over into players' confidence. And maybe that does play a little bit of a role in them coming out flat a little bit as well.
Hammy, let's just go ahead and get all the way into your thoughts here. We've heard plenty from me and Maddie over the last 24 hours. Let's hear from you.
Yeah.
Let's get some thoughts on this game, especially kind of from your perspective on the outside here.
Yeah, and there are a lot of different directions that I could go here. But yeah, the offense is the most concerning thing. I think Maddie hit it right on the head. The passivity of this offense and the way they used Rasheed yesterday was kind of maddening. I don't know what the plan was there. Kind of Debo Samuel-esque, but just having him in the backfield so much horizontal stuff with it, and nothing really down the field in any way, shape, or form. Nothing really letting him, he's best at when he's operating in the middle of the field, not at the line of scrimmage to me. So I thought that was bizarre. I thought Vance Joseph really, he knew what they were going to, it seemed like he knew exactly what they were going to do in a lot of the big situations, especially on those last 2 drives, even when they tried to be unpredictable by running out ridiculous personnel packages and formations. He was still all over it. And I do think there were missed opportunities there from Patrick as well. It was everybody across the board. It was just one missed opportunity after the other. Defensively, obviously, we all heard what Chris Jones had to say about the predictability of what they were doing. Seeing Christian Fulton come back and play limited snaps and just get torched on every single time he was asked to do anything in coverage was not good. It was just But again, like we can pick it apart. We can pick apart all these little things that went wrong, and you lost the game by a field goal at the end. And against a team that does have a great defense, against Bo Nix making two of the best plays he's made in his entire life too. So, but
Really Cole Bishop that game. He really Cole
yeah.
Bishop that game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, yeah, you look at a lot of these moments, like, yeah, you saw we've seen a lot of guys this year just have these performances against Kansas City, have the best performances we've seen. And it's tough because, again, if this isn't a vacuum and it's a one-off thing, okay, you can look, but the fact that this has happened 5 times to them is concerning. But it's 5 games when you look at a couple moments that if they go differently, we're talking about this season entirely differently. And when I watch this team, it feels like a better football team to me than the one we saw for the majority of last season. And I feel like it is similar, like even 2023, that stretch. I know they got off to a much better start that year, but that stretch was more concerning to me than like the overall body of work that we've seen. But yeah, the inability to finish these games is just mind-boggling, especially you figure you get the ball twice with a chance to go win the game and go 3 and out on both of those is not something I ever thought I would see from a Patrick Mahomes-led football team.
And like those final 2 drives, I mean, those final 2 drives are really bad. Especially the last one. I think Mahomes has to wear a lot of the final drive. The second to last one, not so much on him. Like, I think Brashard Smith just needed to settle down and they pick up the 3rd down there. They got a little unlucky on the screenplay that Creed Humphrey got held up by a defensive tackle, just not rushing quickly on accident, essentially. And then like they have a decent 3rd down call. But the one after that, Mahomes tries to, it's man coverage pretty blatantly. He's not under quick pressure, and Mahomes tries to throw a quick ball to Kelsey coming off of a hard chip. Like that's not a man-beating route whatsoever. That's capped at a 3-yard gain if you even complete it. I don't know why he was so in such a rush to get that ball out. Then the very next play, it's like a spacing concept, and he tries to pump fake the backer, and he gets him to bite, but then doesn't come back and throw to Noah Gray, so nothing happens. Just it wasn't the greatest of series for him, the final one. So I do think that you have to kind of put that one at his feet. I don't think Andy helped him a lot with some of the play calls.
No.
Like, don't get me wrong. Rashee Rice in the backfield and 13 personnel on 2nd and 10 with the game on the line. Come on now. We're gonna have Big Bob Tanyan. Sorry, Tucker, put some earmuffs on. We're gonna have him run the spot route over the ball. That takes like 2.5 seconds for him to get 8 yards downfield. Like he's not clearing out anything.
Or just be on the field, period. Having him on the field at all. Yeah.
Like the whole concept is Rashee Rice out of the backfield is going to stretch them to the 2nd level, but all Denver did was rotate down and say, hey, we know Rashee Rice is going to the flat. We're just going to bring a safety down now because there's literally one receiver that can run deep on your team right now on the field, and he's in the backfield. There is nothing going vertical at all on this play. Like it's just crazy. Coming out of a bye week, it felt like Andy Reid sat there at a whiteboard or played the old NFL head coach game. Right, you guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember that. NFL head coach game and said, "Oh yeah, I got all these really cool plays that are going to really trick the defense." And the Broncos just said, "Okay, we're going to run our normal base defense, and your trick plays aren't going to work because we're not going to overreact to Rashee Rice in the backfield and Kareem Hunt split out wide."
Mr.
Like, what was the
Hunt.
goal? What was the no? Not even anymore. Can't we're losing the Mister now? What is the goal?
What did Kareem Hunt do?
He's going to get the other name if you're not careful, Ken.
That's reserved for the people on the sideline. So I don't know, man. It's just it was a frustrating game to watch. I don't understand once again what the Chiefs were trying to do with some of their stuff. And I just think that, I don't know.
And it seemed like a lot of the big 3rd downs, the Broncos just manned them up, and there were no real good man beaters from the Chiefs. And to get manned up like that with Surtain not even out there for Denver is super concerning.
At least they were missing a key.
Let's just run mesh every single time. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, at least they were missing a key piece at the 2nd and 3rd levels of their defense. At least at least they're going to be stronger the next time that these two teams play. That game will be at Arrowhead Stadium, and I'm calling all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss of the Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now and enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to take a break and we're going to commiserate about the offense right after this.
I'm Heather Luce, broker owner, KC Local Homes, and Emprise Bank has been a great partner for us. They're our partner in Possible. Debbie and I hit it off immediately, and she was one of the first bankers that I would say sat down with me and actually genuinely cared about my story and where I was coming from and what I was trying to do, not just what kind of loan do you need, how much equity do you have, and she really kind of laid out my options for me and just made the process make sense, and I felt comfortable with it. Start to talk about it and think about it, a building popped up that I wanted, that I could afford, and it was in a great area. And so they really guided me through the SBA. I used the SBA loan to acquire it and really guided me through that process and made it happen. I think that we talk about that a lot, where we wouldn't have a business. We wouldn't have what we have here if we didn't have the clientele that we do. I've always functioned out of a people over profits mentality. The houses sell themselves, right? Like, I'm here to help people and facilitate the transaction for them.
Chiefs Kingdom, what is your favorite touchdown? By now, you guys already know that my favorite touchdown is the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You want spreads? They got it. Over-unders? DraftKings got you covered. Same-game parlays, regular parlays? DraftKings has it, and you need it. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Thanks everyone hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you as always hanging out with us on the KC Laboratory on a Monday, a Matter Day. I think it's been funny, Maddie, because we had this on the sidebar, we were going to talk about the offense being stale and looking stale. And basically the first 18 minutes, every time you've talked, has basically been about the offense looking stale. I think, and the funny thing is, I think there's even more in the hopper for you. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done, folks. I think there's plenty more. So I'll start with Hamilton. I was watching this offensive performance, and it's kind of funny because a lot of the EPA metrics, a lot of the metrics out there still see the Chiefs offense as one of the best in football. And yet it just feels a little bit like Josh Allen or some of these Lamar Jackson, where we're just stat padding at the end of games in these big games, right? To get these propped up numbers, right? It just feels like it's not been quite as successful as it appears when it matters the most. And there seems to be big blind spots for one of the best offenses by EPA in football.
Yeah, it certainly does. And it's tough because the run game has been a big point of discussion for us all year. And I thought it actually looked pretty good in this game for the most, and still, I don't know if you guys heard Andy talk about it too. He talked about how they're calling a ton of RPOs, and maybe he should start calling more just designed runs. And maybe that's an answer, because it's hard to just be so one dimensional in shotgun too. it just feels, stale is the perfect word for it, because it just feels like we're seeing the same things over and over again. They try to put some different packaging on it, and there's good creativity and there's bad creativity. I feel like we've seen some bad creativity. But yeah, I think for me, it keeps coming back to it does keep coming back to the run game, because you saw the Broncos' plan of attack. They knew every time the Chiefs were going to try to attack with these RPO, like there's guys in passing lanes, there's guys dropping out, there's guys underneath everything. What's coming with this team, and I wonder if a little bit more under center, some more under center play action, some more actual designed runs wouldn't benefit this team. And it does come back to, again, I don't think they should. You don't want to have to put all of this on Kareem Hunt, even though he's been doing a solid job. It comes back to the lack of wanting to add anything at that running back position too, when you had some opportunities to add some guys that would give you a little bit more juice there. So the passing game has its issues, and I know Maddie will probably get there, but for me, it's the one-dimensional nature of this offense that's so concerning, and the unwillingness to really do anything different with this run game.
Yeah, I mean, the run game stuff is incredibly frustrating, and I kind of have to. So I guess for the Andy's comments about the RPOs, I feel like their RPOs were pretty successful throwing the ball this game, right? Like I haven't went and broken it down, but it felt like a lot of that Kelsey success there in the second half was off of RPO. So I can't be mad if Mahomes said, "Hey, I'm going to pass the ball on 6 of these RPOs," and they ended up with 55 yards on those 6 catches to Travis Kelce. Like, what are we really mad about that? I can't be. Now, even if you count those RPOs, I still feel like it was 2-1 pass to run/RPO calls. Like, even if we don't count those, right? So yeah, it's very skewed. I think the thing with under center that bugs me a little bit is I don't know how much the Chiefs just have a drop back passing game. And I don't know if that's a Mahomes thing. Like Joe Burrow famously has come out and said, I don't like to go under center and have a drop back pass game from there. I don't know if Mahomes is like the similar. I don't know if he simply doesn't like having to drop out from under center. Maybe he does, and it's an Andy Reid thing and why it's not in there. I don't know the rationale, but I think until you can marry an actual pass game from under center, even a little bit sprinkling it in, I think it's going to be hard to go under center a lot more. Now they should still do it more than like 3 runs in a game. I want to agree with that, but I just do wonder how much is being left on the bone because they are not going, because they don't have a traditional drop back passing game from under center. You can't run everything, the full menu. If you're under center, you can only do so many things. And right now it's play action or run, and like they don't have anything else. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, like with as far as the Joe Burrow example too, like that has been a constant issue in Cincinnati, and the funny thing about that is they're way more effective. He's way more effective when they mix in a lot more under center. So at some point you have to say, I don't give a shit what you're comfortable with.
Right.
I'm the head coach. This is my offense. Like, yes, there's a lot of stuff tailored to Mahomes, and he's been very successful with it over the years. But at some point, you got to you got to have those conversations and be willing to adapt.
Chiefs are closer to the Bengals in record than they are the Denver Broncos right now. I don't know what this offensive identity is. It's all over the map, and they don't have one. And it's just a grab bag of different things that we've seen from different eras. It's, of the Chiefs. It's, nothing seems easy. They're trying so many things and nothing seems easy. And like, I think there's been moments where it's like, there was a stretch where teams were genuinely threatened by the vertical passing game to the point that the flats opened up a lot and checkdowns opened up a lot, and they could dump the ball off into the flats and they could get 7 yards. That's gone. Like there's nothing in the flats even really available for them at this point. Marrying, play action pass with the run game, not a thing that's happening right now. Just so many things with this passing game, this offense just seems so disjointed. and it's so frustrating to watch. And the answer seems pretty simple, like play man coverage, and you're going to have a lot of success against the Chiefs. They don't have an answer for that, and like that's been the case in years prior where they've won the Super Bowl. But it somewhat feels that simple right now, because like the teams that play zone and are terrified of the Chiefs and all their quote unquote weapons, they wind up getting torched a lot more than what we saw with the Broncos challenging them and having a lot of success challenging them.
Yeah. And I will say too, like we've seen in years past, especially in the post Tyreek Hill years, the 12 and 13 personnel stuff has worked really well for this offense. You have too many talented receivers to have Noah Gray on the field for 33 snaps. 7 snaps of Robert Tonyan is too much. We've talked about all year too. Like Tyquan Thornton gives them something, and he's not on the field enough. I think
he gave him something again. He gave him something again today, by the way. Also saved a touchdown with the best effort play from anyone on the offense all week.
Yeah. I think they have to recalibrate the way they think about these personnel groupings and the way they're trying to attack defense, because that'll open things up in the flat. You put all those guys on the field together, and have that vertical threat that can take the top off the defense consistently out there. It's just, and again, Noah Gray's a nice player to have on your team. He should not be on the field for 33 snaps.
No,
it's not. When you have the talent that they have now, this isn't 2023. You need to get your best 11 guys on the field as often as possible, and I don't think they've done a good enough job of that.
Well, and then you guys are kind of saying there too, like the personnel they're putting out there with their offensive playing style, like the passing concept that they run doesn't work. It works when you're the Rams and you're in 13 personnel and you're running all this heavy play action under center stuff where everything's coming across. And also it helps to have like a tight end that can actually run, which the Chiefs don't really have right now. Like Noah Gray, Travis Kelce at this age, Robert Tonyan, they don't provide any stretch, at least like other teams that go multiple tight ends can stretch the field with their tight ends. The Chiefs can't. And then they also, a lot of their passing concepts are based around getting to space at right timing and like creating space based on your formations. And when you're slow to get to those, it doesn't help. So yeah, the personnel groupings aren't helping with what they're trying to do. And I think that kind of leads me to my whole point in the whole stale thing. I think we have a clip from Andy Reid kind of being asked about when he goes back and looks at what they need to do better and stuff like that. I just want to play that clip real quick from his press conference today, as soon as we have it up.
Sometimes even when you win a game, you go, I could have done better right there, right? So there are plays you like that back. But I'm always looking, what could I have done better to give the guys a chance to be successful? Or during the week, what do we do? Or how did we set it up, going in? So, yeah, I mean, I look at that. I got to pick out a specific area, but it's, that's, I already mentioned the red zone. So, I mean, but those are areas that you got to score points.
And so that's Andy talking about just things that he looks at to try and be better when things aren't working. And there's not a lot there. It is a little bit of a non-answer, but I do think it's like important to note he puts in there, hey, over the bye week, I'm looking how we prepare. We're looking at these things that we do well, don't do well, and what we need to change. That's all fine and good, but that's been your same answer for 10 years now. And the offense has looked the same for the past 4 years. Nothing's changing. When you're getting, asked at some point in time, like, hey, what maybe needs to be a little bit different? I get Andy's not going to share a lot, but it would really be nice to at least start seeing on the field some stuff changing. You can't tell me that you watch this offense this year and go back and watch the 2023 offense, that they look drastically different. You can't tell me there's a whole lot of different elements to this offense versus that one. They haven't changed at all. Despite the past half decade, every defense in the NFL has been trying to figure out, 1, how to stop the Kansas City Chiefs, and 2, incorporating too high match zone concepts that are essentially built to take away what the Chiefs got, like not a ton of their offensive success doing as teams were trying to coming out of the cover 3 era. So it's frustrating that Andy can sit here and say, yeah, I'm constantly looking at stuff. I'm trying to figure out what's to be different. And obviously he is. He's one of the best coaches of all time. I'm not saying that he's not, but stale is the perfect word, because no matter how many times you look at what needs to be doing better, you're not looking at why this offense is still trying to run the same general premise of an offense that you ran 3 years ago when it's clearly not working as well. Like, go back to the drawing board and try something different. You don't need to just fix something now. You need to completely overhaul it. And I just don't know. I don't know if his ego is going to allow him until a new mind from outside of his tree comes in, and who knows when that would be.
Well,
And-
you can go.
Oh,
Hamilton.
sorry, I was going to say, yeah,
yeah.
and especially like we were just kind of talking, this is you have totally different personnel than you had in 2023 right now, too. So to keep doing the same things when, again, they kind of were forced to do a lot of these things in 2023 because they didn't have a ton of playmakers. You got some playmakers now. It should not look the same.
Well, and it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't great either. But this team was just playing this ruthless, efficient ball security version of this offense that was allowing their defense to to have some success too. And that model and that formula does not exist. And we said this needs to be an offensive leading team, and the offense hasn't led enough. It's like they forgot how to. It's like they forgot how to do that. And I mean, Mahomes, he's made 3 big turnovers in 3 of their losses. 3 game-changing turnovers in 3 of their losses. 2 of them were on him, and 1 was on Travis. I don't care what Mahomes says. That one was on Travis.
Yeah.
But those are, I mean, that's the margin right now. And that's what's just so wild is the margin is so gone. It's so gone. And even Mahomes is losing some of that margin in these games too. Mahomes, Andy Reid saying, hey, I got to look at this, how we prepare. They were terrible to start the game. They were awful. Penalties left and right. No side of the football looks settled. You have a lot more to look at then because you didn't make any, your adjustments were wrong. If that was the case, you failed again. This has just been a stunning season. They've done everything that they don't normally do. They haven't won a 1-score game all season. They've blown double-digit leads to bad football teams. They've failed to capitalize. They've made crucial when they do turn the ball over. Mahomes, I think they had 5 turnovers. They have 6 turnovers on the season, I think. I think it's 6 turnovers on the season.
Sure.
3 of them have been in the red zone. And they're 3 crucial interceptions.
Yeah.
This team is a mystery, man. And it does not feel like they have the juice to sustain the grind of the season. And the flatness is in the play calling, but the flatness is also just in what you see from this team. The energy does not seem to be there. There's this air of expectation that they're just going to figure things out. That quote from Andy earlier, right? These guys, it's like, we haven't lost, we forgot how, blah, blah. It doesn't ring like anything right now. It doesn't, because they just seem flat, like they just expect it to just turn for them. And I just don't think it's going to. It doesn't. It's not going to. You're going to have to really. You have to change a lot on the fly. And oh, by the way, you might have to win out. He might have to win out at this point, which is just a wild spot to be in. The defense is not without blame either. With this one. They were terrible in gotta have it downs. They were terrible in crucial situations. Personnel decisions, play calling. We can bemoan the personnel, period. You want to talk about a side of the ball that's got extremely stale? You want to talk about stale? The personnel on the defensive side of the ball. Just running it back with the same guys over and over and over and over again. Pretty stale.
Whoa.
And then they try
CRW.
Well, and then I'm sorry, my bad. And then they try to insert the fresh meat, and it's the worst cornerback in football, Christian Fulton.
I mean, that was.
That was equally frustrating, Maddie.
Yeah, I thought the defense was pretty buns too. I think I kind of alluded to it. I think the offense, a lot of who they are this year has been very passive. Like they've been a little bit more scared. I did not think I would see the day where I think Steve Spagnuolo was starting to coach a little scared, but it sure felt like that against the Broncos, right? it felt like as the game went on, because the Broncos had a couple successes versus the Chiefs blitz, and the blitz hasn't been as efficient for the Chiefs this year. They're still blitzing a good bit, but it just hasn't been as efficient. It feels like in crunch time, he's getting a little gun shy about just sending pressure. It feels like he's trying to rely on playing coverage a little bit more and trying to just say, okay, we don't think you can beat us. Well, hey, Bo Nix went out there and beat your ass. Like, he had his best game of the year, bar none. Like, I don't know what you want to do from that. And like, yeah, you got to wear some of that. When it's 3rd and 15 and you decide to rush 3 and just leave a spy out there because you're being afraid to pressure Bo Nix, I don't know what else to say. When you're too afraid to play your rookie corner who's objectively been good and you want to put Christian Fulton back out there and he only plays 9 snaps, gave up at least 3 catches on 9 snaps. One of those is only like half his fault. The first dig, he played it terribly, but it's only like half his fault. But he gives up 3 catches on these 9 snaps. Like, what are we doing? One of the snaps is a completion to Franklin down the sideline. He goes for a jam and just completely whiffs. And then Bo Nix delivers a nice ball down the sideline. But why are we pressing with Christian Fulton and not Noel Williams, who's literally one trait that like is, oh, this is pro ready right now, is pressing wide receivers. Also on the note of Troy Franklin, here's a 170-pound wide receiver who can avoid press coverage. Hi, Xavier Worthy. Maybe you can do that once in your career in the NFL. That'd be cool too. So I don't know. I thought the defense was pretty poor across the board, but that one was just as much on Spags. I think he did not seem to have a good plan for how he wanted to attack the Broncos other than, oh, they stink. They will continue to stink. I don't have to do anything. And I think Sean Payton kind of torched him.
Yeah, it did feel that way. It felt like he underestimated the Broncos offense and Bo, and it was kind of just waiting for him to F it up the whole game, which is not, which he's done plenty of this year.
I guess fair.
But that's not how you want to attack things. You're right, on a consistent basis. And yeah, the not using Noel Williams at all was confounding to me. Are you trying to justify your investment in Christian Fulton? Like, not the time. I don't know what he'd done to earn, again, I know it was only 9 snaps, but every single one seemed to be a critical situation. And yeah, the dig wasn't totally on him, but yeah, his leverage was terrible there. He gave up way too much of a cushion and just gave that up. Yeah, I think it was like 3 catches for 70 yards that they gave up, and it was all critical moments of that game. And Jalen Watson had his struggles too. I didn't think he was awful, but it was all like tight window stuff where they got him. He was right there, but he's not making plays on the ball, and he, lost a step on a few of those routes. It was, and I thought Cook had maybe his worst game of the year as well. We've been singing his praises this year. He has had a better year. He wasn't good. I thought the secondary as a whole, it was a complete and total letdown. And yeah, I thought just anytime they brought pressure, I think they got pressure twice on the 10 blitzes they threw at Bo, which is not going to get it done. That Broncos offensive line handled everything they threw at them. There was no real stress on Bo for most of that game. It was a complete and total defensive failure in a lot of ways. And again, but you still look at it, they didn't give up that many points. You still have to try to find a way to win that game offensively. I'm still there with it. As many letdowns as they had defensively, they did do a good job for the most part, at least keeping the Broncos out of the end zone. You expect your offense to be able to score, 20 points and win you a game in those circumstances.
Yeah, I look at some of the snap counts too, and hey, Jaden Hicks. This team has lost a lot of trust in Jaden Hicks, the only player to play less snaps than Christian Fulton. Jaden Hicks.
He hasn't been great to their defense. No, I know a lot of fans ask about him a lot when snap counts come out. I don't think Hicks has been good. He hasn't earned more snaps to my knowledge. Like, Noel Williams has earned snaps. He should not have 0 snaps. He's played good. He's earned snaps. I don't think Jaden Hicks has. He has not been particularly good when he has been out there. I know he's made some plays, like some interceptions and stuff last year, and I liked him coming out of Washington State there, but when he's been out there this year, I don't think he's looked good, and I don't think I don't think it's a surprise that coming out of the bye week, Chris Roland Wallace got a lot more snaps and Hicks did not get a lot more snaps.
The pass rush, Maddie said it best, because it did feel like the pass rush was doing some good things in the first half. They didn't get anything going in the second half. And that was disconcerting. That was, they struggled to sustain that rush. And they didn't really have any answers in the second half there. It felt like they were getting some action in the first half, but just weren't able to keep it going. Hey, Charles Omenihu, who did some good things in that game. I think he had a better performance than he's had in recent memory. I thought George did some good things. Chris had I think it was the best half of football. Mostly that first half was really good from Chris. Some good things in the second half, but mostly that first half was doing some heavy lifting. But it just didn't sustain, man. And that came up again. They don't have the horses to do what they've done in the past. They just don't. And now it's a matter of the same stale names over and over again. And here we are, and the offense isn't going to do enough for them to sustain this thing.
And it wasn't even that. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, just a quick point. It wasn't even that they weren't getting home in the second half. There was no push in the pocket. It was clean pockets for Bo.
And that's what they did so good in the first half, is they really collapsed that pocket. They were playing through the tackles consistently. Omenihu, that's part of what he was doing so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first half it was going well. I do feel like the Broncos had a pretty good response to that pressure getting home. They came out and they ran a lot more play action. They got a lot more moving pockets. They were getting stuff where they were constantly having somebody leak out the backside for a screen or on a slide route. They were doing enough stuff to mitigate the Chiefs pass rush, but later in the game, when it was when they had to go back, there was some passing downs. They were clear, pin your ears back and go. And the Chiefs weren't able to make anything happen there. One of the plays, they sent McDuffie on a blitz, and the fullback, I think it was, came across and decleated him. And hey, there was your blitz. And then you got blown up out of it, and it doesn't get home. I think they complete a pass on that play. A little bit later, they're mugging the A-gaps. We talked about this a lot on the post-game show. They're mugging the A-gaps. The Broncos just say, okay, we're going to motion a receiver across, and now he's either hot if you blitz, or if not, Nick Bolton has to cover half the field to get out there, and he's still at the line of scrimmage over the A-gap. There's no way he's getting out there. It's just, it felt like Sean Payton had all of the answers, and once that pass rush started to fall off a little bit as the game went on, they didn't have another plan other than, let's hope Bo Nix doesn't beat us. And then Bo Nix did. I credit to Bo Nix. He beat the Chiefs. Yeah. They said, hey, you got to beat us, and he did. He played his best game of the year. Unbelievable. Yeah. But he did.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did. And that's the other side of it. And I know we'll focus on the Chiefs side here.
Careful,
but
Matt.
I do think the Broncos played a phenomenal game too. As I said, I thought Vance had an answer for everything the Chiefs wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I thought Sean had an answer for everything Spags wanted to do. Bo executed. Bo made some big time throws into some tight windows and in some tough situations. So there is a little bit of that too, where you got to tip your hat. And again, if this hasn't happened to the Chiefs in every single close game this year, I know you can say that and stomach it. I know it's not something you want to stomach as a Chiefs fan, but there is a little bit of that too, where you tip your cap. They played a tremendous game, and it took all of that. It took everything they had to beat you by 2 points. So, or 3 points. Sorry.
That's the fifth time we've said that. That's the fifth time we've said that this year.
I don't think no, because the Jaguars.
I disagree.
The Jaguars was a different case. I think that was a slop fest.
Both teams played terribly in that game. And the Jags somehow played worse and still won.
Sorry.
I don't think the Bills game. I don't think the Chiefs play. I don't think the Chiefs and the Bills were playing similar level games. That's even a weirder game than this one was to me. I don't know what the Chiefs were doing. So I don't even think you can sit there and say, the other team just straight up outplayed them. So I don't know. The Chargers game, same thing. This game felt like the Chiefs didn't play great. Don't get me wrong. I don't even think they played particularly good, but it didn't feel like it was. Penalties aside, which obviously a big deal, it didn't feel like it was them shooting themselves in the foot. It felt like it was the Broncos making them make mistakes. And even a lot of these penalties are Jawan Taylor holding because he's getting cooked as it comes across. Like some of the penalties aren't even just like random self-inflicted stuff. I think the Broncos did outplay them and forced them into a lot more of these mistakes. And that's not a great feeling.
I don't know, man. I feel like most of these games have had some kind of iconic moment that we point to. And that's just like part of it. It's like we have these, oh, hey, the Eagles, like they goal line touchdown or goal line interception that completely shifts the game. Jaguars game, one play, drop out, throws it right to Devin Lloyd. This one, Mahomes tries to fit a ball down the sideline and the smallest player on the field stretches his hands and makes a play.
The Broncos took over at like their 5-yard line, though. Stop them and get the ball back, and it doesn't matter.
That's 0 points on the board.
But if you stop them and get the ball back, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a mistake. But he made a good play. He faked like he was gonna go for Mahomes. He jumped up. Mahomes made a dumb throw. Like we don't have to. Mahomes can make a bad play there, but like that didn't cost him the game. They tied it. They had a chance to continue and hold the clock or kill the game with the lead. Then they had a chance to go win before the Broncos got the ball back, and they failed. That interception didn't have any impact on those two plays, or the Broncos going down to tie it, or the Broncos going to take the lead. So like I agree with you that it sucks that it happened, but like they had ample opportunity after that, and the Broncos played better football after that point.
All right, let's get.
Can I say something positive real quick? Oh, no, can I say something positive?
Yeah. You can talk about the offensive line.
Yeah, I thought the offensive line was pretty well. I thought 4 parts of the offensive line were pretty good. I don't think Juwan Taylor, once again, probably didn't have his best of games, but Josh Simmons coming back. I said the last time he was out there, he might have played his best game. I don't know. Like if we're talking pure pass protection, and like I thought he was fine in the run game, sans the weird holding penalty that was called on nobody, but was assigned to him later. Simmons' pass protection was amazing in this game, going up against Bonito and Cooper, especially since it's a different test than I think he had been dealing with a lot of this year. Pure speed. Guys that are getting off the ball like that. Bonito, for a smaller guy, can actually transition to some of his speed to power pretty well. And you never really got Simmons completely on his heels getting blown back into Mahomes, but he was able to keep up. There's even some clips out there where Bonito's off the ball so fast. And Simmons, who's pretty quick out of his stance, is later getting out of his stance than Bonito is getting to the line of scrimmage, and he's still able to cut him off up the arcs. Like I thought Simmons was phenomenal in this game. Like he picked up right where he left off in terms of even having like upward trajectory and how he was looking. Kingsley, hopefully with the concussion protocol, he's fine and does good. I know he had a rough snap early in the game, but outside that, I thought he was pretty good. Creed, Trey, good. Juwan Taylor's giving me, I don't know what to do with Juwan Taylor. It's so inconsistent. I think it's just too inconsistent. Game, like play by play, game by game, it's just too inconsistent to feel confident. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to the offensive line and especially Simmons coming back. I thought he was great in the offensive line, played relatively well.
Yeah, and beyond the physical challenges that you have to deal with Bonito, there's the mental aspect of it too, with everything Vance Joseph throws at you. And I thought, that was my concern with throwing him back out there after missing so much time. But he was not only ready to go, he was tremendous. You can't ask for a better performance out of him.
He was awesome, and it was so good to see him back and playing well. Like just getting back into the swing of things, didn't miss a beat. And that, hey, look, hopefully he's in a good place for the remainder of the season, because that dude is the answer at left tackle if he's available. And man, like that it's a great thing to know that you have somebody of that caliber playing left tackle for you in the future. Okay. Existential time. Chiefs are 5-5. They are 0-4 against the AFC AFC playoff field right now. They are 0-5 in one-score games. Their best win is the Lions without a secondary, I think. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the Lions without a secondary, I guess, which I think maybe mattered. And we tried to, oh, no, hey, we're back, baby. So I don't know what to do here, guys. Like, do the Chiefs, like the Jaguars' schedule is very favorable. The Chargers, you might be able to catch the Chargers. Do you think the season is over? Do you think the season's cooked? The Chiefs are currently still, depending on the odds, somewhere around -200 to make the playoffs. How do you feel? Do you think this team's making the playoffs, Hamilton?
I still do. I still have faith. I don't think they're cooked. Obviously, they got to win. They have to beat the Colts this week, which is going to be a tall task. But I don't believe fully in what the Jaguars are doing because of because of Trevor Lawrence. He's been the thing that's been holding them back the most. Even this game against the Chargers, it was the run game. He still made a critical mistake in there. Made a couple nice plays as the game went on, but still, like, it was a very sheltered game plan. And to win, I know they don't have a tough schedule down the stretch, but even still, like, he's going to have to make some plays somewhere along the line and not mess up the game in critical moments. And I just don't have faith he's going to be able to do that consistently. They're going to lose games they have no business losing. They've done it a bunch already this year. So there's going to be an opening from that standpoint. And the Chargers just looked on the other side of that. The Chargers just looked completely friggin' lost. That offensive line is an abomination. And you saw you can wear them down a little bit. Teams that have a strong run game can wear them down a little bit there too. So I think both those teams are extremely vulnerable, and I think this Chiefs team still has the pieces to go on a little something of a run. It's just, the margin for error is beyond gone. But I can't just fully quit on this team completely yet.
I mean, they have one more mess up in the tank, and even still, even running the table at this point is not a guarantee. But like, they can only lose one more game, right, to even have a chance. And the schedule's not overly easy with the Colts coming up. The Cowboys aren't a great team by any stretch, but like, you can't tell me on Thanksgiving that they're not going to be able to at least get into a shootout. And how much confidence do we have with this Chiefs offense to keep up? Like, if they just have everything clicking with that team. So like, that's a very losable game. Like, you have the Titans in there, but the Chargers, I want to say the Chiefs should beat them because that offensive line has been so abysmal, but the defense it's at least a tough game. It's a tough divisional game. Like, they're not obviously not cooked. Like, they very mathematically have a chance to get in. The odds on that they are going to get in. But I think being baked into a lot of that is the fact that if you look at like any advanced metric that compares how good teams are, the Chiefs are still like a top 3 team in the NFL. Like, every single metric says they're a top 3 team. They just keep finding ways to lose. If they find, and I don't mean like shooting themselves in the foot, they just keep losing close games. If that happens one more time, like, they're out of leash. If that happens 2 more times, they're definitely done. And like, they have the Colts team that have been very good this year, but coming off a bye. Like, the Colts have shown some more like ability to lose games as of late, but they're coming off a bye week now, and you have to beat them. So it's just, they're not done. They're not cooked yet, but spiritually, we're getting real close.
I think the alarming thing and the concerning thing is just they've blown so many games this year. Why do I trust them to run the table for 7 straight games and be consistent, or 6 of the next 7? It literally might take that. There's a chance that's what it takes. And I mean, by the way, Houston, it depends on who they lose to too, because if they lose to the Houston Texans,
not great.
If the Texans have the tiebreaker on the Chiefs currently, but they'll have the head. The Texans get hot. They have them to contend with. The Chiefs are 9th in the AFC right now. It is almost Thanksgiving. The Chiefs are not in the playoffs. And there's a chance that we get to Thanksgiving and the Chiefs still aren't in the playoffs. The time's running out, and there's 0 margin for error. And we've got all this lip service about this team getting right. Where was that this week? How can you not come out of
in the
bye
backfield
week?
with Rashee Rice at running back?
How can you not come out of the bye week looking better than you did? How can you not come out of the bye week with more discipline and more focus, knowing the gravity of that football game? And that's where the flatness gives me pause. Is there just nothing left in the tank? Do they not have enough to sustain the season and sustain the challenges of an NFL season? Because they haven't to this point. And they've run out of gas, and they've blown games, and they haven't won close ones. And I'm very concerned about this team's ability. I don't think they're all the way out, by any stretch, but I don't know if I like the minus 200 odds for them to make the playoffs. I don't know if I feel about how good I feel about that. Man, and by the way, Dallas's defense looks a lot better with Quinton Williams on the field.
It's the Raiders. Let's take a step back. It's the Raiders.
That's true.
Okay,
That's true.
hold on.
They did give up 0 points to the Raiders, but
Yeah.
Hold on now.
I will say though too that like again, this is an unfamiliar position for Kansas City, and I'm not trying to gloss over the bad because there's been a lot of bad in there, but like you're telling me this team can't be better than the 2012 Ravens, who were god awful in the regular season and caught fire and made a run. The 2011 Giants were not a great football team, and in the regular season, and they got it together and made a run. The Buccaneers that year with Brady that went on a run. Like
I don't want to talk about that one, Hamilton.
Sorry, but I thought the other, the other rings might have been enough to make up for it, but
the 2023 Chiefs.
The 2023 Chiefs. Yeah, so
that team doesn't feel like it. It felt like there was a chance the Chiefs could do the most funny thing ever and the most hilarious thing ever that season. I don't have that feeling right now sitting here. You
really felt on Christmas Day when Aiden O'Connell isn't completing a pass and you're losing that game. Did you honestly felt that way?
No, I will say even
and
that
that's just
team leading up.
Yeah,
that team leading up to there though, you had stuff that you could like say this is how they do it though. There was a pretty clear path. They had given you flashes or stretches of like, hey, this is where it'll get done. This team hasn't given that yet. I know we had a small stretch there with the Ravens, the Lions, and then the Commanders and Raiders. We're like, hey, this offense is figuring it out, and the defense isn't actually giving up points, even if we don't know how good they are. But the offense is figuring it out. And here comes Rashee Rice, their clear-cut wide receiver one, and it's all going to look a lot better. We're getting there. Bills game, that's just a blip. And then they come out and they look like this. So it's just like they're not giving you a reason right now to think even if they make it to the wild card that they have that in them to go on a run. I will say, though, to get to the playoffs, they're going to have to show you something that's going to make you believe. If they get there, I'm with you, Hamilton, 100%, because that means they have to beat at least one of the Colts, the Chargers, or multiple of the Colts, Chargers, Texans, Broncos, Cowboys even. Like, they do that. They beat all those teams or one of those. You're going to – I can't shake it up. Like, you're going to feel good once they get to the playoffs if they show that they can beat those teams because things had to go well. They had to do things right. And right now, especially coming off a bad loss to the Bills, a bye, and then this loss, we're just sitting here saying they're doing nothing well. There's no good that we can hang their hat on. I think if they get to the playoffs, they found the good. Now, I think it's kind of real hard to see. But if they get there, that's a different story. And this game was important versus the Broncos. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to downplay it. I thought they'd win. I thought they'd look a lot better. I think it was incredibly disappointing and a terrible coaching job and terrible preparation that they came out and looked the way they did. Like, that was unforgivable by the coaching staff. And I think the offense scheme as a whole is unforgivable for never changing. Get some new blood in there. I don't need Matt Nagy just saying yes, sir, to Andy Reid over and over again. That said, though, if they come out and show up against the Colts and just have even better energy and they win that game, that's going to kind of flip, I think, a lot of fans back towards there really is hope.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing for me. Yeah, like you look at these individual games, and yes, there's a lot of reasons to think that they can't get it done, but the pieces, the elements are there still. It's not like the elements don't exist for them to be able to get it done. Like Andy Reid is not a terrible coach. He's had a couple poorly coached games. Spags is one of the greatest defensive coordinators to ever do it. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Like, these elements are still there. They need to, and again, I understand they're out of time. It needs to be put together, but I can't just totally give up on that and say they're cooked and end the season when all those things still exist. That's just where I am.
I just think the problem is that the Chiefs have had 5 calls to the we're back department, and then every single time they've had who said in the return the call to the we're back department. Like, we've had 5 games where this team, now we're going. Look at this offense. Shutting down the Raiders. Historic performance from the defense. The Giants loss that Giants that Giants win looks a lot better than it did 2 weeks ago. Man, they beat the brakes off the Ravens. I don't care who was injured. And then it's like 5 just abysmal 1-score losses. And I think the roller coaster, it's like it's hard to get up and down with these games anymore. They go out and beat the brakes off the Colts. Cool. It doesn't matter. Style points, whatever. Who cares? Because they've been back so many times this season. It actually probably does matter this season.
It actually matters because they can't lose more than 1 game and have playoff hopes. But 2, I think the Colts are good enough. The Colts like the Lions. The Lions game still mattered. I understand we can excuse out the secondary, but it's still mattered. So like you come out and beat the Colts, 1, that's only your 2nd win versus a playoff team this year. So that probably matters, showing that you can do that again. But
they're
then
not
like
a playoff team.
The Lions. Huh?
They're not the Ravens.
I was counting the Lions.
I'll shut
The
up.
Lions also not in a playoff spot right now.
Oh yeah, take
that's
that,
right, because they lost. Anywho,
yeah,
cooked.
That's all right. You can hate the Chiefs, Kent. We all support the Chiefs. Oh no, my final thing here is
Roderick.
Here's my final thing, and you guys can do whatever you want at the end of this. If the Chiefs don't come out with at least better energy, and like I want to see guys hitting, flying around, I want you to be able to like sit there and watch the game and say, oh, it really matters to them, because I don't think you could have watched that Broncos game or the Bills game and said this really matters to anybody but Roland Wallace, Chris Roland Wallace, and Tyquan Thornton. I got to give him the shout out too, but like nobody else, you could just tell through the screen that it mattered. If you can't tell against the Colts game, I don't know. I'm sitting here seeing Nick Bonino's clip from Instagram. That locker room was practically having a concert because they beat the Chiefs. Like it literally meant so much to them, and it probably should, but it meant so much to them that they beat the Chiefs. Like they were treating it. It looked like an AFC Championship game winning celebration in that locker room. That's what it looked like to them. If you don't get to see that as the Chiefs and be a little upset and have a lot better energy versus the Colts, then I'm fully out. I don't even care if you have a chance to run the table after that. I am fully out if you do not have better energy this next week after just watching how much this meant to the Broncos, who were essentially throwing shade every chance they get, from Peyton saying, hey, they have nothing in the second half, to Bo Nix getting on a mic. And I think he was trying to be good, but saying, yeah, they're a pretty good team and they played us well, is the most condescending thing you could possibly say about a back-to-back AFC Championship winning team. And and then that Nick Bonito stuff. So like they gotta have more energy. And if they don't, down the river.
Let me throw a few super chats before we get out. Oh wait, Hamilton, you got something real quick before you're done? Or?
I did just want to say quickly, not that we need to dive too deep into this right now, but there has been a lot of like eulogizing the Chiefs dynasty, and you can't call it, like I've seen even, you can't call it a dynasty if they don't make the playoffs and all this other BS that. Because the Patriots didn't have years where they missed the playoffs or got blown out in the wild card round. You know, like the way that people just forget that this stuff happened. There were blips in those years as well, or the fact that they went a decade without winning a Super Bowl too, in the midst of all that. You know, I don't think, even if they don't make the playoffs this year, I don't think it's over. I think there's a very good shot they could be right back next year, and nothing that happens this year should diminish that dynasty at all. And it's so stupid that these conversations are even going on in the national media.
The Chiefs are literally ended in the year 2025, the year we are currently in, the greatest 3-year run in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Whatever, you're eulogizing it. They will be a Super Bowl favorite in 2026.
Absolutely.
2027 easily. I mean, they're still like one of the favorites right now.
I think they're 4th. Yeah,
they're still like 4th in the league. Like it's just absurd. Let me throw some super chats up before we get out of here. Matt, you were right. Smith ruined the real wheel routes. That's from Jacob LaRue. Melodic Red. Can anyone criticize Andy and the coaching staff? We did. Jacob.
I think he meant on the coaching staff. I think he's thinking can anybody in the coaching staff like say, hey, Andy, let's do something different? And no, they can't, because they're all just a bunch of yes dudes who got their entire career under Andy Reid. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like he's been their boss forever. Like,
yes, dudes.
Yeah.
That's a new one. Lane said it best. They need an outsider. Absolutely. Charlie Sinclair, question about the offense. They run a lot of shotgun. Do you think that is Reed's or Patrick's preference? Does Mahomes like being under center? They should also sneak more. It's a great question. I think we talked a little bit about it, and like I don't know if we know the answer, but I mean, I don't know when the last time Andy offense based out of more under center. I mean, Philly, like
Yeah,
That
when we were
might-
talking about that, I
doing
was
that
going
that
through.
pro formation in Philly. It's like-
Yeah.
I was going through NFL Pro, and it looks like the Chiefs are on pace. Now, I can't, NFL Pro doesn't let you split up play action and under center, so you kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt. But I could not find, it looked like the Chiefs are coming up to be a little bit short of their season averages from 2020, 2021, and 2022 in terms of under center passing this year. Now, I don't know how much is just play action, but yeah, I don't know who's at fault, is essentially all I'm saying. Like, nothing's changed dramatically from what they've been doing the entire time. Mahomes has been the quarterback in that regard.
One last thing, Charlie Sinclair. It's over if they lose to the Colts. Got to stop JT. Yep, we're going to talk about that because that Colts team, at least Sauce Gardner and Charvarius Ward will be back for Big Lou. And, the Chiefs have had a lot of success against Big Lou as well. So it's going to be a pretty big matchup for this team and a massive challenge for them. And we'll see if we can get the We're Back department fired right up again. That's going to do it for this episode of KC Laboratory. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.
You got to believe, Kent.
Thanks.